Yes, yes. Y'all didn't think I was going to be here, did you? Well, I'm here and I'm back. Welcome in. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. That's Jackson Bennett Burkett. This program is driven by Munganess St. Louis Acura and Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota. Jackson, welcome to Memorial Day weekend, and unfortunately yours is off to a rough start with, what did you say about the Lake of the Ozarks on TMA?
I said that while I've had fun there in the past, I would not like to be there in any circumstance on Memorial Day weekend. Too many people. And in general, it's not my favorite place in the world to vacation.
What is your favorite place in the world to vacation? Just so people can get an idea.
The Outer Banks, North Carolina is where I've had the most fun in my life vacationing, but it's also where I've gone to vacation the most.
But usually New York, the Northeast, Southern California, South Florida.
Oh, yeah, Martha's Vineyard was really cool. I really liked Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
Certainly, like South Florida, like Naples, Sanibel, really, really nice. Marco Island, gorgeous.
Have you had a chance to go to, like, you know, panhandle areas?
Yeah, I drove through it. I've been there. It was cool. It was fine. It's a shorter drive, which is nice. But in general, yeah, like driving out more to the coast is where I'd like to be. San Francisco was like the coolest trip I ever took.
Wow.
That's dead serious.
I didn't even come up with that.
That's dead serious. I went there and I was like, this is the coolest place ever.
I would imagine there are a number of our listeners who are en route right now. You know what? They're on their way down. Is it 63? Is it 54? Take your pick.
Yeah, eventually you get on 63.
And heading down for Memorial Day weekend. And you, and a statement that I want to make sure to bring up but distance myself from, said that when you were at the Lake of the Ozarks, it smelled like what?
Human waste. As I got closer, it was hot out. As I got closer to the water, because like from our little deck area, it smelled fine. But as you got closer to the water, the smell of human waste, or honestly any waste, I can't necessarily define the origin.
Right. Could have been from like a gerbil farm.
Gerbil farm, emus, who knows. But when I got closer to the water, the smell of feces permeated my nostrils. There's no other way to say it. It was filling it to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not going in this water. So I went to the Lake of the Ozarks like 2 summers ago, and I did not for 1 second put my foot in the water. Because again, it smelled of waste.
Most of us go to the Panhandle in Florida, but this guy just drives through it. That's from the 314.
I've been there. I've been to like Destin area. That's fine.
You don't vacation in the Hamptons. You summer in the Hamptons, so that doesn't count. That's from the 314.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But, well, if you only go for like a week, you're not summering there. Summering means you're like there, you know, from Memorial Day basically to Labor Day.
So that was the 7 o'clock hour on TMA. Then the 8 o'clock hour, Joe Buck joined us, friend of the show, friend of Balloon Party for that matter. Mm-hmm. And I sent him an email this morning saying, hey, you know, we've moved into the 21st century on TMA, and we are able to have you join us like Lisa Ann would from her place in Jackson's second favorite city next to San Francisco, New York, from her apartment in Manhattan, or from when I am staying at your parents' place in South Florida, and I would connect. And I sent him the link, and Joe Buck is there. The audience is all excited. 350 people are in the YouTube chat. And then what?
It just didn't work. He couldn't hear us for whatever reason. I have no idea.
Well, he made it clear it was on our end.
Sure. Yep. And so, you know, you take it in stride. If we're being 100% honest, and I like to think we are.
Well, this is honesty in media.
Anything I felt bad about that situation was immediately mitigated in a major way because I was just so excited. Like, the fact that Joe Buck knows my name is like one of the coolest things in my life.
How about
I'm being
that?
dead serious. Like, as a kid.
Well, he's a Balloon Party listener.
And
there's a chance he's listening right now.
Well, if he is, tip of the cap to you, Joe, because, you know, growing up, I'm 26 years old. Every Super Bowl, World Series, all these games, 2011 World Series, which is like the greatest moment of my sports life, all
What about when you
narrated.
sat on the bench when you guys beat Jason Tatum?
He would have been great on the call of that game.
Nice.
Like narrated by Joe Buck, and obviously his father is such a legend. So like the fact that he was like saying my name is like just really.
I was
really
wondering
cool
if
to
when
me.
he did that, if that meant something to
It
you.
meant a
That's
lot to
interesting.
me.
I probably wouldn't have thought to ask you, but since you brought it up.
It meant a lot to me.
Well, I've told him. We're off air, right?
Yeah.
We're in a break.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Thanks, Ryder.
I've told him, I said, hey, I know you listen to Balloon Party. He said that Jackson said he's a good kid. I said he's got a good head on his shoulders. He works his ass off. He's got a good attitude. He's a good kid, huh? That's what I said to him.
Well, thank you.
So he knows.
Thank you for saying that.
He
to me.
knows.
Yeah, that's great. That's
that I
awesome.
vouch for him.
That's great.
So I'm Al Pacino, you're Johnny Depp, and I'm bringing you into the family.
No, I hope for both our sake it ends up better.
Donnie Brasco, 1990. I'm going to say 96 because it gets me 97 and 95, and I don't think 98's live. That's my reasoning.
I'm 97 all day. I'm 97 all
Well,
day.
then that gets me home. We'll check on this, and then we'll break down the Cardinals and Cubs.
Donnie Brasco, 19 and 97.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're shipping things on this show. Except you ruined the YouTube and need to be spanked for it. That's from MD 2020.
I will take whatever punishment is agreed upon. And
So you'll take a spanking in the studio today. Wonder if that happens here often.
No, sometimes they'll shoot each other in the tush with an
I thought that
airsoft
was
gun.
more of a Riz show thing. Does that go on Fastlane?
I think the Fast Lane has done it as well. And, it's happened to me before. It hurt. It stings like a mother, but I'll be okay. I'll do it.
All right, fair enough. So Ryder will be spanking you coming up. That's
Yeah,
something to
that'll
look
be
forward
nice.
to. In addition to the Little Piddles Friday six-shooter. Woo!
Woot, 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 woot. What weekend it's going to be, Tim? Cardinals, Cubs with Joe Buck on the broadcast tonight with Chip Carey. This is exciting stuff.
Shoto Imanaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's
I don't know if people like the casual.
Right.
Okay. I know those of you listening to this probably well aware, but I'm talking about the casual baseball fan knows how great this guy has been. Why do I say that? Because when you're talking about free agency this past offseason, everybody's talking about Ohtani, and then it became Yamamoto. But the guy who would win the Cy Young, and I think it'd be over the Ranger in Philadelphia, because his ERA is .84, is Imanaga. And that's who the Cardinals are seeing for the first time tonight. And they're throwing Miles Michaelis at him. Now, Michaelis is coming off a great start against the Red Sox, but body of work, been a little rough. I looked this up before TMA today. 2 earned runs in the month of May in 26 or 7 innings.
Jeez.
That's what the Cardinals are up against, and that was against the Padres. Otherwise, he has pitched scoreless baseball in his other 3 starts. I mean, sweet mother of mercy.
Yeah. And he's not like a guy who's going to get like 12 strikeouts a game, but he'll work out of jams and won't falter if bases are loaded with 1 out. Like, he is nasty. He's nasty.
So I think if Yamamoto were doing this, what Imanaga is doing, because of the hype associated with Yamamoto and the contract he wound up getting, I think there'd be more buzz about what the Cardinals and the fans who will be either at the game tonight or watching Chip Carey, Joe Buck on the call on Bailey's, would be witnessing. But this guy he's Jake Arrieta 2015, he's Jack Flaherty 2019. That's what you got here. I mean, this guy is dealing. So if the Cardinal offense, and they have been rattling the bats, if the Cardinal offense can break through on this guy, that's beating the Orioles, God bless. That's legit. But you get to this guy, I don't think he's not a household name, and he wasn't the big hyped free agent, but this guy is dealing.
Yeah.
So you get this and you score 5 runs on this guy. How do you do?
Yeah, this is great. And just I'm just excited to see if the Cardinal offense, like, this is such a test, a litmus test to see, like, adversity. Because, I mean, I'm sure that's not going to be a lot of hits, but taking advantage with runners in scoring position, they've been so much better these last few weeks with runners in scoring position. It's so frustrating watching a game when your team has terrible numbers with runners in scoring position.
Yes, you're right.
It is like the most frustrating part of a baseball game. Brief aside, you talked about the Ranger, Ranger Suarez from Philly.
Aye.
Have you ever seen him field a ground ball? Like, there's a compilation video of him fielding ground balls.
What's he got going on?
He's the best defensive pitcher in baseball right now. He throws the ball to first like you and I would throw a Post-it note into the trash. Like, he gets the ball, if it's fired right back at him, he'll take his time, and he'll just casually flip it over. It's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen.
I got to look up Ranger Suarez fielding videos.
It's unbelievable. Like, he just is so casual with the way he throws it to first, and I love it. I really like Ranger Suarez.
Tim, he is leading the odds to win the Cy Young. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know who else would be in there. I mean, Ranger probably would be second, would be my guess.
Right.
But what I'm saying is this: and listen, I recognize those who listen to 101 ESPN all day. You're well aware of what's going on with who the Cardinals are facing tonight. I understand that, but if there are 40, however many thousand people in that ballpark tonight, I don't know if half are even aware of how good the Cubs starter is. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? Like, if you're a hardcore sports fan, you're listening to 101 ESPN all day. Probably a little disappointed with 10 to 11, if we're being honest.
Sure.
But then at 11 o'clock, you're good again.
Yeah.
Then you're aware of Imanaga. And what I'm saying is, I knew he was dealing, but since now he's facing the Cardinals, I looked up the numbers like, oh my God, this guy he's been unhittable. So if they rake on him.
Yeah, and if they can sweep this series, Tim, back to 500 they go.
Tim, what happens if tonight's game is a rainout for Joe Buck and Chip Carey? My guess is they would reschedule it.
A different date for them to do the broadcast.
That would be my guess.
Not necessarily in the next game.
I asked Joe about that when he was on TMA, and he said he's just trained himself after back to going back when he was a pitcher in high school, much less when he was calling games before, and then how he would obsess over, like, is it going to rain? And then how he torture himself. He goes, I just accept it. Whatever it is, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. Right.
But at the same time, ideally it isn't a rain out. But if there is a delay, you got him and Chip just sitting there BSing and telling stories.
Be the greatest.
I mean, that's like the 2024 version of Live at Shannon's. And by the way, Live at Shannon's, I know we've got some good Charles Barkley audio, which I can't wait to hear because I haven't heard it when he's on Dan Patrick going off. Live at Shannon's, the fact that was on the air up until, a few years ago, and when Mike started to have his health deteriorate, that went on. Like, you and I are too young for it, but I think it used to be acceptable to kind of get lit up and just BS on public airwaves, which I'd like to welcome that back. I really would.
Yeah, we both have scotches
maybe
in our
I'll just do
hands
like a pirate radio show where I do it. You would listen to that and go, oh my God, these are like 3 or 4 famous guys just drunk and BSing. Like,
it was like a Cardinal postgame thing?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was the greatest.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Just over at the restaurant, Shannon's like, tell me about and go, oh my God, this is on KMOX. What the hell's going on? It was the greatest. So yeah, have those guys sit there and tell some stories. That's what I say if that winds up happening tonight, which is unfortunately a possibility. Jackson, you are teeing off at St. Louis Country Club at 12:24, I think you said.
Yeah.
And you're a little concerned about the weather in St. Louis today.
Yeah, I hope if it does rain, it's in the early part of the afternoon and it comes and goes real quickly, and then we can have cool, easy waters for the game tonight.
Cool, easy waters. Interesting.
Which is, of course, the name of my memoirs.
Cool, easy waters. And you actually have a memoir.
Yeah. It's like me in a little sailor suit on my
wow.
Yeah. Starboard side.
Appeal to a number of audience
Starboard?
members.
Is it starboard and port side?
I believe so. I mean, you can act like you don't know to try to play that role. Drunken BSing, isn't that balloon party? Thanks, that's from the Water Boy. Yeah.
Sans alcohol, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it'd be a little odd if I were in here at 10 o'clock with booze.
Well, you'd have had to polish off a quart and then the walk from TMA to here.
Yeah, just a lead base.
That'd be pretty funny, though.
Let's see. Alan Dadeville. When I interned at KMOX, I used to put a bunch of old Live at Shannon's audio into a rain delay file, and it was incredible radio. It's Alan Dadeville.
I'm sure it was.
I mean, I'm telling you. I don't know. I think one time, I don't know. I was listening, and I think it might have been an old clip, and I guess it was Claiborne. I think I texted Claiborne. I'm like, I'm listening, and I really don't want the game to restart because I want this nonsense to continue to play. It's the greatest. I mean, when it gets down to it, at least, like the kind of people you'd want to probably socialize with, that's the kind of stuff they like.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know like the teetotalers and the sound off riders, they don't want that stuff, but, they can go,
Right.
jump in the lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, starboard side.
With Jackson this weekend, where you will find him. He's acting like he's not going, so he doesn't have the paparazzi there. This is a meta play.
That's right. Yeah, I may or may not have purchased a palatial
estate.
Yeah, right on the water there. So trying to keep property value up around me, so everyone relax. All right.
Justin here. Sonny Gray at least gets one complete game this season, or he gets 20 wins.
I'll take the one complete game. If saying either or. 20 wins, he might not get the run support in some games.
Yeah, I would probably go if I had to bet. I don't know if I'm betting on either, but if I had to, I'd probably go one complete game.
Complete games are a thing of the past, man.
You get teams just don't want to mess with the guy's arm for the next starts.
Right.
Tim, one time I went to Shannon's on a Friday night in 1992, and Mike had Bob Gibson, Bob Uecker, and Bill Wilkerson. It was funny as heck. It's from the 314.
That sounds amazing.
It's the greatest. I mean, essentially, it's like when you got like a group of guys doing podcasts now,
right.
Just BSing. And so it's common now, but for it to be on the radio,
right.
It was the greatest.
Yeah,
I mean, holy crap. And then Shannon, we're talking about Barkley. I remember driving along listening to Howard Stern when I was a young tyke, probably your age, young, full of piss and vinegar, had a full head of hair. I was 6'4".
Right.
And I'd be driving along listening to Howard Stern. I go, I wonder how he gets away with saying this stuff. It's the greatest thing. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's the key, man.
And then all of a sudden I'm doing Balloon Party, and I'm like, oh. But Charles Barkley is now that guy.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But Shannon was that guy, too.
Right.
But I don't know if it was Shannon didn't care. I don't know if he didn't know to care.
Right.
Which is a little different.
Barkley knows he's probably breaking some rules when he does it, but who's going to tell him?
Right. Right. So we'll have that audio, and we've got the Little Piddles Friday six-shooter. And we're setting the stage for Memorial Day weekend. And it's we'll be back on Tuesday.
Yes.
And then, now I'm here, and am I playing ill? I am. Should I inspire you and your families today that I'm here not feeling as good as I normally do? You probably can't even tell. I'm that talented. But I am Jackson's got a bunch of member guests that I'm playing in here over the next few weeks.
Yep.
And you're not going to play in a couple of them.
Right.
But I am.
Right. Well, yeah, I'll be in Hamptons.
Yeah, summering. Mm-hmm. So I will be missing 3 of the next 4 Fridays. And I know all of you in the text inbox will be really supportive of it. I'm like, oh, good for you. You're taking some time off and get to play some golf with friends. So I know that'll be like encouraging and supported. Mm-hmm. But since I'm going to miss that time, I really don't want to miss now. Josh Innes will be filling in. And then Josh and I are going to do a program together with you, of course.
Oh, yeah. I'll be right
on
here.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
So then Josh will handle Thursday and Friday when I am at your clubs, because you're a member of a variety of
4? Yeah, 4.
Your club's member guests here 4. On 3 of the next 4 Fridays.
Yeah. I'll probably consolidate at the end of the year, but it's been pretty
you're
good.
Downsizing, or is everything all right with your portfolio?
Everything's great. It's just like at a certain point, things are, you don't make a lot of money writing checks. I'll say that much.
So that is a little tease for the next month. All right, we'll take a break. Little Pills Friday six-shooter coming your way. This is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. That's Jackson Bennett Burkett. Well, they're not happy, Jackson, that I'm taking time off.
What's that?
That kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
One of the hardest working midgets in radio. You deserve a break, my bald. Hold on a second, because the commas are all over the place.
Right. You
deserve a break, comma, my little bald, comma, space friend. It's from the 636. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
For the support.
Yeah. Seems like a person you'd want to hang out with.
No, it's endearing, and I appreciate it. We went out of town for my wife's birthday earlier this year. My sister got married, and then this month, all these member guests, Jackson's variety of clubs. So I'll miss some Thursdays and Fridays on Balloon Party, but I'll be on TMA on those Thursdays. Yeah. But I got to get out for practice rounds. Got to try to compress the ball in these different types of turfs.
Yeah, hammer the nail.
That's my credo. Penny saved, penny earned. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm in deep. Jackson, what is the first question on today's Little Piddles Friday 6-shooter on Memorial Day weekend? Hello again, everybody.
Hello again, friends. I want to get into this Charles Barkley audio that we have.
I can't wait to hear it. You said this is wonderful. What's going on with Charles Barkley?
So Charles Barkley was on Dan Patrick yesterday, and Dan was asking him about how morale is at TNT as the NBA media rights deal is currently being negotiated. It looks like it's going to be NBC who's going to get the media rights deal, which would leave TNT out of that. And then TNT also just bought college football games on Fridays, so that was kind of another tell, which would mean Inside the NBA, the show with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Ernie Johnson would no longer be a thing. And then
next to Rich Gould's Fan Show, best show on television.
It wasn't around much for the Fan Show, but from what I've heard, and I know Rich Gould, I'm sure that's an apt statement right there. But yeah, Inside the NBA is dynamite. And so Chuck was out there talking about the morale and the whole situation.
Morale sucks, plain and simple. I just feel so bad for the people I work with, Dan. These people have families. And I just really feel bad for them right now. These people I work with, they've screwed this thing up clearly. And we don't have zero idea what's going to happen. I don't feel good. I'm not going to lie.
You're actually angry.
I am. Dan, it's so interesting. I've been spending a lot of time with the crew lately. They've been with these guys where I spent time with they bring their newborns in. They bring their kids in. They'd come in like when they were in high school, and now they're graduating for college. I mean, that's how long, Ernie's been there 32 years. Kenny's been there 27. I've been there 24. But think about that.
Yeah, but how did you guys screw it up? How did TNT mess this up?
Well, I think the first thing is, they came out and said we didn't need the NBA. So I think that probably pissed Adam off. I don't know that, but I'm saying because when we merged, that's the first thing our boss said, we don't need the NBA. Well, he don't need it, but the rest of the people, me, Kenny, Shaq, and Ernie, and the people who work there, we need it. So it just sucks right now.
Charles Barkley. Dan Patrick show. Yeah. So there's that. And he also talked about possibly, because he owns a production company, Charles Barkley, about possibly going independent with Inside the NBA if the TNT deal does not work out. Pulling that up.
Well, I've talked to the guys about everybody signing with my production company because I have my own production company. And I would love to do that if we lose it. But I have definitely actually somebody suggested that to me, to be honest with you, on the internet. So why don't Charles Barkley sign these 4 guys total, his production company and sell it? I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But like I say, we're just sitting back waiting on these people to figure out what they're going to do. My 2 favorite wines are Inglenook and Opus. And these clowns I work for, they've turned us into Ripple and Boone's Farm and Thunderbird. We got the best studio show. And it's so funny, we just won the best studio show, but these fools turned us from Inglenook and Opus into damn Boone's Farm and Ripple. It's crazy.
Yeah, he pulls no punches. He'll tell you what he
The
thinks.
magic of not caring.
Yeah, and not needing the paycheck that might
That's exactly
not come
right.
if you keep talking how you feel.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's
I hate to hear that show's going away, man.
I do too. It's brutal. And it also, not only just that, and he obviously talks about the crew and all those people who don't make the millions that him and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie do, but also like Kevin Harlan is so good at calling sports and especially basketball, and he's Turner, and you won't get that anymore. You miss out on so much when it changes like this.
So what will the crew be on? Where's it going to go?
NBC is what it's looking like. So probably Al Michaels be involved in that.
I'll short you on that if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
It won't be Al Michaels.
You don't think it'll be Al
No,
Michaels?
Not a chance. I mean, they pulled him off the NFL playoffs this year. They're not going to like start their NBA coverage with Al Michaels. That ain't happening, brother.
Yeah.
So then, but then who's it going to be? I mean, this is your association.
I'm not positive. I thought.
Okay, what about the studio show? I know you don't know, but like, what do you think they're going to do?
I know that they just put in a request to get Round Ball Rock back, that little song they used to play.
John Tesh.
NBC basketball. I'm honestly not positive on that, Tim.
Well, I know you don't know. I'm asking your opinion.
Like I don't know, but I don't know the stable of broadcasters NBC employs.
Pull it together, boy. 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 Like, are they going to like do what CBS did with Fox's NFL show and do like a, Fox NFL Sunday Light where everybody's always laughing like it's Def Comedy Jam, except it's just really not that good and everybody really deep down knows it?
Well, no matter what they should
Like it's like a local morning news show.
Right. What they should not do, because I'll have an opinion on this, what they should not do is try to emulate inside the NBA, because they will never, ever,
That's
ever.
what I think they're going to do.
Well, that would be a huge mistake. That would be a huge mistake. Like ESPN knows they can't do that, so they put their guys on there, like Wilbon, and they put on Greeny, and Stephen A. Smith. Like they put on the guys who, we know this isn't inside the NBA, but these are our guys, and this is our halftime show, and that's that. And they have Mike Breen on the call, who's great, and everyone loves Mike Breen, but they know that their halftime show is not the inside the NBA. But if they try to emulate it and do all the goofy stuff and manufacture chemistry, it will not work. And everyone's going to say,
I think that's what they're going to do.
Well, I think that's a
I think that's what they're going to do. That's why I was asking, who do you think they'll put on there?
Yeah, that they might try to.
I mean, let me put it this way. This will resonate with people because I know we're talking association. That can upset some people. Connor McDavid, double overtime last night. The NBC Sunday Night Football pre and post game, where apparently if you send in a resume reel, you got a gig, or if you're related, is. I mean, in a time in which most broadcasters are cutting back, especially on non-revenue generating on-air personalities, wow.
NBC
what a counter offense they're running. I go on there, you got Jason Garrett smiling at the camera.
Oh, yeah, God.
I mean, there's a wide variety of people, many of whom are stray dogs in the industry who have found a home, but they get to be on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
So if NBC is going that direction, based on what they've put together for Sunday Night Football, which is not, some random thing. I mean, it's usually the best game of the week now. I'm a little concerned.
Jeff Van Gundy is probably someone they're going to look at because he got let go by ESPN a year ago.
So you got Al Michaels and you got Van Gundy.
That's not the worst broadcast team I've ever heard.
I understand, but what I'm telling you is that's a little dated.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, I get that. But I don't know. Costas maybe do some stuff with NBC. I mean, I know, I'm like, you said dated, but like.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. All these people are talented. I'm just saying, like, I'm not even asking about the broadcast team so much as the halftime show and the pregame show and the postgame show, because that is what became TNT's signature.
Right.
And you're blowing up this beloved show.
Right.
Because they're not carrying the rights. And so that will be, I think, what people will pay attention to.
Right. And there isn't necessarily like the former players who you would want, like the former players who you'd want all work for Turner at the moment, and that's outside of Chuck and Shaq and Kenny. That's like Kevin Garnett does work with them. Draymond Green does work with them. Vince Carter does work with them. Baron Davis. All these guys are really, really good. And you're not going to, and maybe they can get them over there to NBC. I mean, people want to talk basketball, so they might take an offer. but it's never going to be the
I
same.
don't want to talk basketball and balloon party. I can tell you that. And here you are just indoctrinating this audience, and I try to fight it.
It's a sports station. I think sometimes people forget that this is a sports station.
You know what I say? It's a local sports station, and that means all I want to do is talk Cardinals, Blues, MLS, and UFL.
Okay, well, this will be fun.
What did that mean right there? I caught something.
We got to talk. You got to talk about sports. You talk about what's going on in the world of sport, baby. And hoop rock is going on, including like the most prolific athlete maybe ever from St. Louis, up 2-0 in a series. Maybe people get behind that. Maybe, I don't know.
Celtics, Pacers.
Yeah.
All right, Jackson, we'll see what's coming on this Little Piddles Friday 6-shooter. I mean, I got Cardinals and Cubs. I mean...
Oh, yeah, I got stuff on that.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I just want to support local.
No doubt.
All right.
Yeah, I got
And I'd go to the lake if somebody invited me. I can't afford that, but I'd go there.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll find out what Jackson's going to try to do here in the final couple segments. I'm a little concerned, candidly. First, the Lake of the Ozarks. Now, St. Louis. This is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Online at carltoninsurance.net. And his number is 314-961-4800. He also is my insurance agent. I would like him to become your insurance agent. It's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency at 314-961-4800 or carltoninsurance.net. If you have a child who is driving but under the age of 25 and still on your policy, that is where James has found he has saved clients the most money. And has your insurance gone up over the last year? Many people would answer in the affirmative on that. Well, if that's the case, give James a call. Work with his staff because there is a good chance they will be able to save you money. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. That's James Carlton, my insurance agent. 367 5-star reviews on Google. It's James Carlton online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Cardinals were off yesterday, but they're back tonight. Weekend series with the rival Chicago Cubs tonight. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals in Game 1. And last night in the NBA, the Celtics defeat the Pacers 126-110. Boston now takes a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals before heading to Indianapolis on Saturday. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back, Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you. Jackson, you're in the midst of this Little Piddles Friday six-shooter Cardinals Cubs weekend. How do you do?
I'm doing great. How about you, Tim?
Good, thanks. Didn't seem sincere. I don't know what happened there.
I have to switch emails. It's a whole thing. All right, we're back. Given the context of the season, do you think it's now on the younger core of the Cardinals lineup to carry the load offensively? Do you think we should still hold out hope for major progressions from Arenado and Goldie? And if it is on the younger guys to carry and they can be successful, do you think that will change the mindset slightly for the front office going forward?
I'll yield to your opinion.
I think if you are able to get some real quality offensive numbers from some of these younger guys, yeah, I think that definitely changes the mindset of the front office going forward. I think that...
When you say change the mindset, what does that mean then, though?
So if you think about Goldschmidt, for example.
Yes.
Before the season, if we felt like, and it felt like the consensus of most people around the Cardinals, that Paul Goldschmidt would probably sign an extension.
I was hopeful that would not happen. But if I had to bet, I would have said they would have done that. If you would have told me on January 1st, 2024, you got to bet, will the Cardinals sign Goldschmidt to an extension? I would have bet yes, even though I would have internally been like, I don't want them to.
Sure. I would agree, but it did feel like that was going to be the case.
Yes.
Now, as we've seen the last, really going back to parts of 2023, Paul Goldschmidt has not been the same player he was in 2022 when he won the MVP, so much so that I don't think that they will sign him to an extension. That's just like one minor piece right there. But then when you think about replacing that first base spot, you know, it might not be who's on the free agent market. It might be Alec Burleson's hit real well for us. We're going to put him there, and how much money that saves you. Now, I think the real issue is where that comes pitching-wise, because Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson are up after this year. Obviously, they have club options, but they don't have anyone outstanding right at this moment to take over those spots, whereas maybe Goldie and Arenado, once the contracts are up, maybe it's not a who's out there on the free agency market, who can we trade for? It's we got guys already. And I think that in itself, for a future that looks kind of bleak for the Cardinals prospect-wise, could be a bright spot.
Okay. All right.
A little bright spot, a little optimist over here.
Yeah. You're back in that rights holder game.
I don't know why, but I've just started to profusely sweat. I am hot. I am red hot right now.
This is interesting. This is like an inner monologue that's going out over a 100,000-watt FM station.
Don't say that, because that's only going to make me sweat more.
Right. Well, that's why I said it.
I don't know why. I just all of a sudden, in the midst of that Cardinal prospect take, I started
It's
to really...
probably because you have a moral compass and you knew you were lying.
Lying about what?
Lying about, everything's great.
I did not say. I did. I just.
I can play the audio back for you.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
Someone helps me because I don't know how to do it.
I hope you do. I hope you do, so that people can notice that you're mangling. You're doing some light mangling over there.
What's mangling mean? That's a different use of the word than I'm...
You're mangling up the words. You're taking chunks and pieces, and you're putting it all in some word stew.
All I said was you have a wonderful moral compass, and your body knows when you're lying to the millions and millions listening to Balloon Party.
No, mostly because whenever I ask a question and I have to give the opinion first, it means the question sucked.
You're starting to pick up the reads.
All right, well... Gotta shoot to score.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put pucks on net.
You gotta shoot to score.
They're not happy with you, but for a different reason. Hey, pale boy, why did the NBA get into the Sports Center update, but not the NHL?
If this is your first time listening, that's what I do. That's the thing I do.
But Connor McDavid, double overtime.
Good on him. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see.
Pietrangelo with the assist.
Yeah. What up? What up, Alex? Out there in Edmonton. They played the game in Dallas last night.
Yeah, look at you, kind of showing your knowledge of the game right there.
I did see that the game was in overtime. I was like, oh, wow, 2-2 in overtime. And I didn't turn it on, but I did notice that.
So that's your anecdote. That's
Right.
your hockey coverage.
Well, my night ended.
That you happened to see it on the Score app.
My night ended when I was like, okay, the Celtics have finally adjusted to what the Pacers were throwing at them in game one, and now they're going to win
Tyrese
comfortably.
Halliburton has an injured hamstring. That'll wrap it up. We'll see you and Luka in 10 days.
I wouldn't sell out the Timberwolves just yet. No, I wouldn't sell
Ant-Man.
out the
Still
Timberwolves
Ant-Man.
just yet. I think that they're poised to make a big old comeback in that series. They're only down 1-0.
Tim, I don't know if you picked up on it, but when Jackson said, lying about what? His voice went up 200 octaves. That's from the 304.
Well, who's that from? The 314?
It just says 3. You know, we don't have the names saved on 101 like we do on TMA, where about 80% of the texters' names are saved.
Yeah, it makes it sting a little less. Unnamed man or woman, whoever it is. I didn't think my voice changed that much. Who am I trying to explain it to these people? I don't give a damn.
Jackson, how is Bo Broski doing?
Florida plays tonight against the Blue Shirts. And they won the first game, so clearly he's doing well.
How about that? There you go.
Hot tender, Tim. I've always talked about the hot tender thing. If you can get a hot tender in the playoffs, you can beat anybody.
How about that?
You saw the Blues do it in 2019.
That's right.
Almost do it again in 2022.
When Jordan Binnington outplayed Patrick Waugh.
He smoked Patrick Waugh in the Boston Bruins. Zdeno Chara. Am I pronouncing that wrong? He was like 6'7".
Yes.
Mean old guy.
Broke his jaw.
That's crazy.
And returned.
That is crazy. Playing with a broken jaw is nuts. That's
Well, I mean, that just
psycho.
speaks to, I think, the work ethic, the blue-collar mentality of the hockey player. And I wish all athletes across all sports would play with that kind of selflessness and tenacity that we see from hockey players.
Agreed. I wish all players could play in the most pads of any North American sport.
Oh, my God. That's got to be Jamie Rivers' music.
I'm sorry, did I say something inaccurate? Oh, no, I didn't.
He's going to bust this door down. He's coming for you.
Yeah, no. No, I get it. It's a whole lot different when you play with that many pads.
Wow. He's 6'9".
Is that right?
It's from the 6'3".
Probably should have played some hoop rock. Could have had probably less damage to his body, more money. Could guard the post.
I'm just telling you, when you head down to the lake this weekend, these takes aren't going to play well.
Remember that guy said when he sees me, he was going to slide tackle me?
That's right.
I
I
like
actually
that.
ran into that guy at the
Did you?
Missouri-Memphis game.
Did you?
Could have been nicer.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I was there. He should have slid tackled me.
Jackson, we got one more segment of Balloon Party before you head down 63. This is 101 ESPN. Jackson, we got 5 minutes before a 3-day weekend.
Oh, beautiful.
Make it happen. Optimize. Win back the people you've alienated,
Sure.
including Jamie Rivers, who sent me this text. Jackson just let 2 seconds of his stupidity ruin the rest of his life. He will be picking up his teeth with broken fingers. Hello again, everybody.
Well, if I wear a full face shield, that shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, my goodness. He just doubled down. I mean, if we have a bout with the fast lane, I don't know what I do. There isn't anybody I can... Who am I squaring up with?
You take Stalter. Point man on point man. Point man.
It ain't going to work.
And I'll take the other three. I'll take the former.
You'll take
I'll
the
take the
former
former NHL enforcer player, and I'll take the former Super Bowl champion, and I'll take the 6'3", handsome as I'll get out, Andrew Marsh, and so by the time I'm done with them, you should have Stalter on the ropes.
You think I can handle him?
Yeah. Can we at least get Good Morning Grant or somebody to even out this?
Yeah, that should balance it out. I think, as a matter of fact, I think you combine every show. If this were like Survivor Series, every show, and put them on one side against the 4 members of the Fast Lane. I think the 4 members of the Fast Lane clear house still.
No doubt. You're not wrong there. But
you like your chances against Marsh and Jamie Rivers and Kerry Davis, while I distract Anthony Stalter in this brawl.
Well, you ground pound him, I
absolutely will. I'm going to go for his knees and hope for the best, like a little chicken hawk.
I'll take him out single file. But I would say I'll take the 2 of us versus any other 2 on the station in a pickup basketball game. We will smoke anybody. That's where I'm at. Any 2.
That just still seems to go against logic, but maybe we've got a chance there.
Any 2. I'll take them. We'll take them.
I mean, okay, just attack. We got take your pick of any 2 on the fast lane against the 2 of us.
I'll cook all of them. I have no question.
What the hell am I going to be doing?
Stand there and just trust in me, baby. I got a question for you, though, to finish this out.
Okay, what do we got? Something on, I assume, the Mavericks.
You like their logo? I hate it. In your opinion, what major holiday is the best for sports viewing?
Wow.
Because Memorial Day weekend we got coming up, so Sunday you're going to have Cardinal games, and Memorial Day wouldn't necessarily be my number 1 pick, but Father's Day you get U.S. Open, baseball. Christmas you get basketball and football now. Thanksgiving you get football. What's the best sport?
I mean, this is going to shock everybody because, as I think it's on my bio here at the station, godless pervert.
Sun worshiper
of sun. Every other few years, it's Easter because it's the final round of the Masters.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
That's my honest answer. Now, if I look at it from the general public, now with Christmas having NBA and NFL,
it's pretty solid.
That's probably the answer.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving obviously has the NFL, and from a viewing standpoint,
got the Egg Bowl.
You have the Egg Bowl. No, right around then. I have it confused because my family's Thanksgiving was delayed a little bit this year, so we got Michigan, Ohio State.
Well, not all of us knew when your family's Thanksgiving was.
Hence why I was going to eject. But then I figured I'd close the loop. I think I might go... I'm going to go Father's Day. I love Father's Day. I think it's a great holiday. It's summer.
U.S. Open
final round.
UFL championship.
Of course. It's just that's a cherry on top. Right. So I think I'm going to go Father's Day.
It's a nice play.
And watching sports with your dad.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's what Dad, what do you do for Timmy? I don't... Just if you and the boys want to come over, I know your wife's, only child. So whatever she wants to do, I don't give a damn. I just want to sit there and watch the U.S. Open. And if you guys want to come by, that's fine. I don't need you. Don't get me anything. I don't need that crap.
Your mother fall far from the tree.
Your mother wants to do all this. I told her, Missy, I just want to sit and watch the golf.
This is you in 20 years.
Well, I mean, yeah,
look at you now.
Yeah, this is me now. So my wife said, what do you want to do for Father's Day? I said, you're an only child. Spend time with your father.
Yeah.
Please enjoy. I want to watch the U.S. Open, and I know my dad wants to watch the U.S. Open, and now I know he really wants to watch the UFL Championship.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So Father's Day may be the right answer.
Yeah, I think that's my answer.
All right. Nice question. 11
you.
o'clock. Time to go. We got to go. You're on the tee at St. Louis in an hour and 24 minutes.
Yeah, I got to start stretching out.
Jackson does have somebody who stretches him, too, so you don't even have to exert energy
His name's Henrik.
for that. BK and Ferrario are up next. I hope everyone has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. For Jackson Burkett, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota.